Rusty Treasure, my favorite. Hello my friends, and welcome to Tom's Tinkering Adventures. Today, in my Global Domination headquarters, that's the code name for my garage, we are going to try a little bit of rust removal with a technique that I have used before, mostly for motorcycle gas tanks, cleaning out the inside of them, and it's pretty common, but perhaps you don't know about it. We are going to be using vinegar to remove rust, and we're going to do that on this rusty old fish scale. Now I retrieved this from my parents' garage, which I was recently visiting them in Minnesota. I helped dismantle the garage, which had collapsed a couple years ago. And you know, I'm not much for worrying about getting anything, and I don't know if this has any value. I just thought it looked kind of neat, being all rusty and stuff. But then I was like, well, maybe I could clean it up and use it. Sometimes in the garage I need to have you know, to test springs and stuff, see how much tension it takes to pull them. So I was like, well, maybe I'll clean it up and just see if we can turn it around. And who knows, maybe it is something nice. There's some writing on here, so we'll do a little close-up on it. You can see what it looks like before we started here. There you can kind of see it says pounds on that side, and if you look closely you can see the scale graduated down here. I don't know, does it say 14? Hard to say. But I've got some distilled white vinegar and an empty container. So we're going to put this in the container, and I'll give you updates on this. This is not a fast process by any means, but we'll check it in maybe like 14 hours or something like that, and we'll check it periodically over the next day or two. There we go. So it's soaking in there, so start the clock right now. Actually, I'll come back, I'll let you know the time and the day. It's 3 p.m. on a Wednesday, so that is the start of our experiment. And we will come back, well, we ain't gonna come back at 12 hours because I'm not getting up at 3 a.m., but we'll look at it in the morning and in the afternoon tomorrow. And I guess I will end my experiment on Friday because that'll be 48 hours and I'm going out of town. So I should have started this sooner, but I think 48 hours we should have some sort of progress. There you go, by the Starbucks double shot espresso, you can tell that it's early. It's 6 a.m. and it means that we have been soaking this part for about 14 hours. Early morning check on it. Let's try to get this thing turned around so we can see what's going on. There we go, that's nicer. Don't get it in the coffee. You see down in there? Let's pull it out and take a look. Look at that. The rust is coming off. It's actually coming off really nicely off of this ring here. Set it down here. And let me prep the area. There's our up close look at it. I have a toothbrush here, so I'm just gonna see if that did anything as far as removing any of the rust. Looks like it is, actually. So you can start to see a little bit of silver right there. The hook ends have cleaned up really nicely already. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it into here. And we will scrub it a little bit in the solution. And then I'll take it out and I'll show you what it looks like. And this is at our about 14-hour time frame. All right, so this was about 2 minutes scrubbing with a toothbrush. It's not a wire brush or anything. And you can now see the scale on here. Man, I guess my dad was hoping to catch a pretty big fish. 50 pounds. Didn't put, like I said, a whole lot of effort into it, but this is how much is removed after about 12-hour soak. The ring on the top is almost completely rust-free. The back looks like it's in a little bit worse shape, and the hook is also just about rust-free. Let me set you down. I'll show you the spring inside of here. Hopefully you'll be able to see. Let me see if we can zoom in a little bit. There we go. The spring is still pretty bad inside of there. So back into the solution we're going to go, and we'll check it at the 24-hour period.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are at 1600, 4 p.m. for you non-military folks. And look at the condition of our vinegar. So we're at about a 24-hour soak on this piece of Americana here, this fishing scale, which doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of value, but there we are. And I have my toothbrush. I won't be brushing my teeth with this anymore, in case you were wondering. We'll do a little bit of a scrub on the face of this thing here, and I think we've removed the majority of the rust on the face of it. Let's see what we can see on there. Not very good lighting, I'm sorry. Let's see, it says not legal for use in trade, pocket balance. And down here there's some made in Germany, I think. Yeah, registered, made in Germany down here. So it's German. That's how you know it's good. We've pretty much eliminated the rust on this upper ring, and the rust on the lower ring is pretty much done. The back side still has some rust here, which I'm rubbing it with my finger, and a lot of it's coming off. Let's see. We'll get a little bit of liquid on it and hit it with the toothbrush. I'd say about 25-30% of what was remaining came off with just the toothbrush. Now, this thing doesn't have a whole lot of value, this fishing scale, but it's kind of more just a demonstration of how to remove rust from items. So I'm not going to put a lot of effort into it, but I don't know how well you can see. The rust has pitted it. So even if this thing was, say, ultra valuable, you're never going to get it back to 100%. But we are going to get the big chunks of the rust off of it. Let's see what the inside of it looks like here. Well, the spring is actually looking a lot better. If I could find a way to hold this back, I could probably clean a lot of this off. Oh yeah, look, just even rubbing it with my fingers, taking it off. So I'm going to see if I can hook that onto something, clean that off, and then we'll throw it in there. I am going out of town tomorrow, so we're probably not even going to get 48 hours soak time on this thing. But as we're looking at it right now, the exterior of it, we've probably removed 90% of the rust, maybe even more, 95% of the rust. And I haven't attacked it with anything harsher than a toothbrush. Good morning, YouTube. It is 6 a.m. and let's see what our awesome little fishing scale looks like after a little bit over 36 hours. Okay, you can see the majority of the rust is gone. That's actually a hole that rusted through. I don't see any surface rust remaining on this side here. I don't know if that's some right there or not. A little tiny bit maybe. Let's see. Up on this end, there's a little bit still up here. Maybe getting in there with the toothbrush might get most of that out. Our ring is still, of course. The rust is gone from that. Yep, a little bit up on this top section here. Just hard to get in there with the brush, but the majority of it comes out with the soft bristled brush. Same down here on the hook area. Remember, all that rust came off almost immediately. And it looks like most of it's even gone on this inner part here. I think this face might be brass. See that? Let's see if we can get the spring pulled out. Even the spring looks better. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this over, I'm going to rinse it in fresh water. Let's try to knock some of this vinegar off here. Remember, vinegar is an acid, that's why this works. So I'm going to go rinse it in fresh water, then I'm going to bring it back and we'll see if we can do something with the face of this thing here. There we are. Try a little bit of steel wool on this face just to see what happens. It's coming along nicely. I don't know. Look kind of brass or coppery, but now I'm not so sure. But it is, at this point, 100% usable. I mean, I'd probably want to grab something that was 5 pounds and put it on here and see 5, 10, 20 pounds. See how close it is, get an idea. The deal's just a little bit off here. Should probably bend that. Let's hit the steel wool on the back side, see what happens. Cleans it up a little bit. You know, I remember these things, I don't know if it was this exact scale or not when I was a kid. I remember seeing these things. My dad loved to go fishing a lot, and they had a lot of fishing equipment always, so these were laying around in the garage. That's, like I said, where I picked this thing up, in the remnants of our garage. The garage blew over, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, and my brother and my son and I, actually both of my brothers and my son and I, went there to help them do a little bit of maintenance on the farm. And part of that was finally tearing down the old garage, getting it out of there. So we found a few treasures, and this was one of them I dug out of the rubble. Not too bad. I'm gonna grab a little metal polish and put some on here and just see if that is. Sometimes brass or whatever, when you hit it with steel wool, kind of loses the brassy color. So I'm gonna see if I can put some metal polish on it and see what happens. Metal polish didn't really do a whole lot for us. Maybe actually discolored the metal some more. But you can already see we're flash rusting right there. See that? Just in the short amount of time that it's been out of the vinegar. So what you want to do is you want to coat it with something as quick as you can. So I just have some PB Blaster synthetic multi-use lubricant. We'll spray that all on there. Get it inside there on the spring. Kind of let that soak in. Rub it in. Yeah, the problem with using the vinegar like this is that it is an acid. You can rinse it off in water and baking soda, which will kill the acid, but still you're going to have raw metal. So when I do this on motorcycle tanks, like I'll put it on the inside of a motorcycle tank, I rinse it with hot water, and then I try to do it on a nice hot sunny day. I put the tank out in the sun. Most of the times I'll put a heat gun inside and try to dry it out as quickly as I can. And I mix up some gas and oil, usually like just whatever, motor oil, and add a little bit of gasoline to thin it out. I make about a cup or so of that, and I put it inside of the tank, and I just give it the old swisheroo, swish it around inside of there. So that's basically what I'm doing here, lubricating this thing all up. But like I said, she's never going to be perfect, and this thing is not valuable. I think they're about $10 to buy a new one. Who knows, maybe this one from Germany is worth 15 or something. But some extra oil is not going to hurt it none. Let it soak in there. But there you go. Went from a rusty piece of junk to a little bit less rusty piece of junk. But it's more about the cleaning powers of the vinegar. So, find an old tool or something that has some significance to you. You know, your granddad's old monkey wrench. Throw it in there and clean it up a little bit. But let me get a position and we'll come right on back here. Just like brand new. Well, not really. But a vast improvement. And kind of fun seeing, I'd like to see the changes you can make in things like this, so. Awesome day. It's still early, so I get out and get my miles in. All right, if you're liking what I'm putting out, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below, and if you're not already a subscriber, please consider doing so. Thank you very much for watching. Get out there and find your adventure. Adios.